What's up, guys? One Up James here. Today we're looking at The Wild at Heart on the Xbox Series X. In a day where fast-paced gameplay, realistic graphics, and first-person shooters, sometimes we can feel a little overwhelmed and need to relax a bit. Well, the developers at Moonlight Kids have delivered just what we need. A peaceful, heartwarming, relaxing adventure that's filled with memorable characters, mystical locations, and an overall presentation that is much needed and very welcome in 2021. The story of The Wild at Heart has you playing as Wake, a young boy who is fed up with his parents and wants to run away with his friend. Upon venturing out through your backyard, where you encounter Brussel, a small forest creature known as the Spriteling. Little do you know of the incredible magical journey that awaits you. You are led into the deep woods, where you will meet the Green Shield, a group living in the village known as the Grove. They are at odds with living in fear and the nighttime, because at night also comes the darkness, which has them gripped with fear. The story is well presented, a fun, magical experience that has you wondering what's going on and anticipating who you'll meet next. The Wild at Heart controls very well. Traversing the area isn't difficult at all. With a quick press of a button, you can bring up your map, telling your location, where game objectives are, and where missing Spritelings are located around the map. There is even a teleport system at each camp you come across, allowing you to cross distances as you see fit. Battling is done, for the most part, by the Spritelings themselves. With this Pikmin-like style of control, you send these little creatures into battle. They can die in battle, but are brought back at the Spriteling tree stumps at each camp. Using seeds found in the area, you can hatch new Spritelings as needed. You are not completely incapable of fighting. You do have a kick available by pressing the B button, although the kick lacks any strength at all. It comes in handy at the beginning, or when you're low on Spritelings, but after building up your Spritelings, the need to kick pretty much anything is obsolete. The Spritelings can also be used to clear blocked pathways, even retrieve and bring back items to the camp that you may not be able to carry due to inventory space. The main usable item you will have is the Dustbuster, a vacuum machine strapped to your back that collects nuts and bolts scattered on the ground and even pulls back the Spritelings that may be out of reach, or to pull them out of battle. There are campsites spread out throughout the deep woods that act as your base, giving you a treehouse or a tent to sleep in for healing and getting through the night. The crafting table, which allows you to combine different items you have gathered in your journey. Trying different combinations of items will unlock different blueprints, representing the recipes that you have learned. All of these items will be very useful, so learn what items you need so you can gather them as you travel. You do have an inventory that is limited, but like I said, you are never too far from a campsite. There's also a storage place where you can store unneeded items to use them at a later date. Moving on to the graphics, they're just wonderful. The hand-drawn style is very similar to Don't Starve. These visuals will not let you down. The muted watercolor art style is so pleasing to look at and flows very nicely with the music, story, and overall game tempo. And the music, so peaceful and relaxing, and still catchy in their own unique way. The music has its way of drawing you back in. In a lot of games, the music is just more background noise, but in The Wild at Heart, the music adds much more immersive into the game. I even found myself stopping for a moment and being drawn into the peaceful ambience. It's not a killer upbeat soundtrack by any means, but gives a much needed sense of peace and tranquility to the game. And on top of the world building comes a wonderful, unique cast of characters. From Greycoat, who acts as a somewhat leader of the Green Shield, who will help lead you on your journey and provide you very useful tips and directions as you progress. And Scraphead, a lovely tea kettle-headed character who is in charge of rebuilding the village. He will help guide you in collecting different materials needed for the repair process. And even Litterbox, the weird cat lady who has lost all of her cats, bringing missions to the game and some strange dialogue to keep things light and hold the peaceful setting that's presented. These and several more characters are such a delight to interact with and will keep you smiling for hours to come. The only issue I ran into is the occasion when throwing Spriteling was off a little. Sometimes I was off on my aiming a little bit, but other times I was wondering why they weren't locking onto the object or enemy I was throwing them at. But this is hardly a complaint, just made me take my time a little more on a few occasions. I have enjoyed every minute of my playtime with The Wild at Heart. The presentation is just wonderful. Even at the sometimes slow pace of the game, I was never bored. Like I said before, the music and visuals draw you in and immerse you into this magical land. This game may not be for everyone. There's no crazy action or fast-paced gameplay, but what is on offer is a very fun, delightful experience that's done and presented well from the opening moments of the game. The Wild at Heart is available on Game Pass upon launch, and if you don't have Game Pass, it costs $24.99 on the Microsoft Store. If any details of this game are appealing to you, give it a try. I promise, the rest of The Wild at Heart will deliver as well. Well, that's my review on The Wild at Heart on the Xbox Series X. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, drop a like. It really helps out my channel, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time, guys. Later.